It's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live and direct, better than any other can. Back with another episode of that Repent or Die podcast. And on this episode, I want to just talk about something. Uh, I mean, a lot of people always want to discuss, and it's where was the Most High when slavery took place. And I want to take the time out to give you a understanding where the Most High was when slavery took place. He was right in the heavens, letting that go down. Facts. While we see, a lot of you guys don't understand how and why we end up in slavery. A lot of you guys thinking that we end up in slavery miraculously. We was chilling, minding our business, and these people just came out of nowhere and just kidnapped millions, and I mean millions of people, put them on a boat, brought them to various places, and just had them in servitude. You ever ask yourself, how did that happen? How was a group of people able to complete that? No violence, no nothing. How? I'm gonna tell you. See, when we got the laws, for you guys that don't know who you are, I'm gonna give you, this is a quick history lessons, and you learn all of this in your Bible. You know the same book that you will claim that is, written by the white man, King James, a white man, King James, a homosexual, King James, a weirdo, etc. Meanwhile, everything that's being promoted amongst us now is nothing but weirdonism, but there's no pushback behind that. There's no pushback behind Elton John. There's no pushback behind all of these actors and actresses who came out being, fishes of the sea. But there's never no pushback behind it. But for some apparent reason, when it comes to King James, it's a level of pushback. You ever ask yourself why? Make it make sense. But anyway, so for you guys that don't know who you are, see, once upon a time, we was in a place called Egypt. And in Egypt, there was a particular man by the name of Moses, who, when was born, was founded by the pharaohs and the pharaoh's wife, and was raised from a baby, from an infant, and was raised to be a young man who had as much power as the pharaoh's children, because that's what he was, right? Then he ends up leaving, and then he ends up having a conversation with God. And God said, I hear my people crying unto my name. Go unto the Pharaoh and tell the Pharaoh to let my people go so they can make a sacrifice unto me. Right? Oh, and before I even do that, he also told Moses his name. Moses said, when I stand amongst the children of Israel, they're going to ask me, what is his name? And the name was given. You'll find that in Exodus chapter 3, verse 13. I'm going to let you find it out and you read it. Because if I tell you that, then you really not going to do no homework, right? Okay. So we get set free out of Egypt. But what you guys don't understand, while we was in Egypt, we was also picking up a lot of Egyptian customs and traditions. And I'm going to give you some examples. Traditions like homosexuality, traditions like sleeping with animals, traditions like eating whatever you like. Doesn't that sound like America right now? Hmm? Hmm? Think about that. So the Most High had to create rules and regulations because we was out here wilding, right? Cool. That's what happened. So then, pay attention. So then, the Most High said simple. He said, listen, if you follow my rules and regulations and everything and all my laws and statutes that I have given unto you on this day, and you shall follow them, I will keep you on high, and everything else will be beneath you. That's what he said, right? But he also said that if you didn't keep it and you disregard my laws, then I'm going to put curses upon you guys. Hence, one of those curses is being put into servitude, in captivity, on ships, taken all across the world to be a slave. And then when we became slaves, we was then beaten to now forget your name, forget where you come from. As a matter of fact, these individuals were so strategic and smart with it. They also killed the wise men, killed the wise women. And majority of the people that came onto these lands, if I'm lying, I'm flying. The majority of these people that came onto these lands were children. Because the children could always be retaught. So a lot of the slaves that came to this place were children. And you know, part of the reason why there was no pushback, because these children witnessed their mothers, fathers, uncles, leaders, warriors be executed by a weaponry known as a pellet gun. You understand? So while we running around with swords, they running around with pellets. While we running around with swords, they running around with pellets. So these young people watch respected leaders and warriors be executed and taken out. Subconsciously, you then become submissive. But this is what happens, right? I'm gonna give you some history today, because the sister asked the question. She said, "Where was God when slavery happened?" And I'm giving you the in-depth understanding of where the Most High was. The Most High was sitting in the heavens, watching and letting everything go down. And you know why? Because the majority of you guys don't understand that we made a covenant. We had an agreement between God and us. And God said, listen, I'm going to keep my end of the bargain, but you guys better make sure you keep your end of the bargain. And if you keep your end of the bargain, I'm going to make sure you prosperous. I'm going to make sure that you the most revered, most feared people on the face of this earth. But if you disregard what I'm saying, and you choose to not listen to me and choose to follow these heathens and their nonsense, I'm going to make sure you stay right under them. And I'm going to make sure that you're not only going to stay under them, you're going to have anger and be jealous and trying to figure out, how is these people better than me, knowing that they aren't better than me in absolutely nothing. Hmm? So when you become disobedient, this is what happened. Now back to the history. So now they got pellets. We had swords. They killed. They put these young people onto these ships and bring them to certain places. Some of these young bucks rebelled. Some young bucks said, listen, I'd rather die before I serve any one of you heathens. And jumped off the ship, was eaten by sharks. Some drowned because their hands was in chains. So they couldn't swim. They rather drown. They took their life than to serve the oppressor. You understand? So then now when we came on these places, this is documented. You could look up the history when you see the age bracket. These people 19, 21, 26. You understand? Young children, young, and going through this. You feel me? And when they end up getting here, they was beaten. Their nationality was reverted. They was then forced to follow this satanic Constantine religion. See, they're not telling you this. You wasn't supposed to read. Why you think they came out with these religious sects before they set you free? You guys don't even know majority of these religions came about and was created in time before they set them free, supposedly. Because we had to divide the people. What Christ said, a nation that's divided can't stand. We knew that. We stood together. They caused the division. And they still doing the dividing. They doing it now with this whole, medical decision. They always, this is Art of War, Sun Tzu 101. We know that. Oh, I know. Some of you guys don't. Because some of you guys don't even understand who you are. Now back to the history lesson. So now these young boys is here, young boys and young women. They cleaning up, they're going through their emotions. And some of them was getting tired. Some of them was having anger in their face. Some of them want to get back. So you know what they did? They reached out to a man in the name of Willie Lynch. And Willie Lynch sent back a kite. And within that kite, it stated what they needed to do to continuously keep us in control. And even in that kite, it was a level of division. Have the dark beef with the light skin. Have the indoor beef with the outdoor. This same tactics is being used today, right now, as we speak. They changed it up a little bit. Now it's based on your submission to the system, based on the degrees, based on the knowledge and the wisdom they apply to you, for you to use what you was taught amongst your own, and you get a reward for that. It's called a $60,000 paycheck. This is a peanut punch right here, man. Got sea moss and all that. You gotta eat and stay fit by any means necessary. So that's what happened. Now you fast forward to 2022. There's a lot of colored people that's waking up because the Most High said in the last days he will be waking up his children. And guess what, people? We are in those last days. So for the sister that asked those questions, where was God? God was here. The question that you need to ask is, where was our people? Where was our forefathers? Why couldn't they listen to the order and the rules and regulations of the Most High? Why did they have to submit themselves to paganism? Why did they have to submit themselves into hedonistic customs, lifestyles? Why? These are the questions that need to be asked. Don't blame God, because God made a promise within a bunch of people. Moses sprinkled the blood. He sprinkled the blood on us. We signed that contract, and we broke that contract as well. So the Most High sat back and said, so you gonna break the contract? Okay. You thought I was a joke. You thought what I said wasn't gonna happen? Because from the time of Moses to the time of Christ to the time we was in servitude, these are thousands of years later. Thousands and thousands of years later. So can you just imagine the Most High sitting back chilling and watching us continuously bug out, continuously act a fool? And then when he said, you know what? Enough is enough. Listen, the scriptures could tell you everything. There's a reason why the so-called Haitians suffer more than anybody else on the face of this earth. It's the reason why. The $1 million question is, you gotta ask why. That's the questions. Don't ask where was God when slavery happened. You need to ask is, what did we do to allow this slavery to happen? And now that the children is waking up, and now that we know our bloodline, we know that the real Jews are black. We know that the real Jews are black. Oh, pandemic. Oh, lockdown. Oh, kill them. Oh, inject them. Oh, you thought this was for fake. You thought you thought the Bible wasn't real. You thought what the Most High said wasn't going to happen. The Bible tells you everything the Most High says will never come back void. Do you know that? Think about it. Think about it. And now that this awakening is happening, what are you going to do? Are you still going to go against God and act like he doesn't exist? Are you still going to seek counsel from our ancestors who obviously showed that they failed us? Are you just gonna be a renegade, an atheist, and just not do nothing? Or you gonna just be a YOLO? You only live once, and you gonna ball out, have a good time, get to the money, sleep with, get some and some. This is what you gonna do? These are the things you're going to do. But I'm gonna have a rude awakening for you. Because while you doing all of this foolishness and nonsense, the Most High is still taking families and bloodlines, putting an end to it all. The Bible tells you 2/3 of the earth shall be destroyed. And when you look at the statistics in the world and how many people did that medical decision, whether it was one, whether it was two, whether it was three, whether it was four, you still opened yourself up for the adversary. And now the adversary is going to use and abuse you for as long as he wants. And then he's going to get rid of you. It's time to come back to the Most High. It's time for, I don't care if you're a Caucasian, I don't care if you're a Haitian, a Jamaican, a Puerto Rican, a Mexican, South American, doesn't matter. You better get yourself together. I advise every single person that watched this video, that shares this video, I want you to really, really understand what's happening, why it's happening, who is it happening to, and where is it going moving forward. Because things is going to really start getting bad. And when you walking around questioning God, you definitely going to be questioning him and seeking him when it gets turned up. And that's in the book of Proverbs chapter 1 verse 33. The Most High says, when you going through your trials and tribulations, I am going to mock you. And you know why he's going to mock you? Because when he stretched out his arm and told you to come to me, and told you to read and study and understand why these things is happening to you, you rejected it. You rather the blunt, you rather the alcohol, you rather, excuse me, the vagina, the penis, you rather the money than your own salvation. It's your brother, man, from the motherland. I came to you guys live. It's another one. Share it, subscribe, follow the movement. Get down with the get down. I'm a hollow.